Welcome to our HIIM 360 Assignment 3 presentation. My name is Lauren White, and my partner is Luna Du. We are presenting ICD-10-CM, the International Classification of Diseases, 10th Revision, Clinical Modification. Our learning objectives are to define ICD-10 and its purpose, describe the structure and format of ICD-10-CM codes, identify key features and characteristics, explain how ICD-10-CM connects with other systems, and apply ICD-10-CM concepts using real-world explanations. What is ICD-10-CM? It is the official system used in the United States for assigning alphanumeric codes to diagnosis, symptoms, and conditions. It was developed by the World Health Organization and maintained by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services and the National Center for Health Statistics. It is used by providers to clarify morbidity data, facilitate tracking of healthcare utilization, and for insurance reimbursement purposes. ICD-10 replaced ICD-9 in 2015 and offers over 60,000 codes, allowing for great specificity and more specificity than its predecessor, ICD-9. It was adopted under HIPAA and is required for all healthcare services in the United States. ICD-10 supports accurate medical billing, tracks public health trends, improves clinical documentation, and enables healthcare data analytics. So the structure of an ICD-10 code can range from 3 to 7 characters. The more characters in a code, the more specific the diagnosis. The first character in an ICD-10 code will always be a letter. The second character will always be a number. The third through seventh characters can be either alpha or numeric, either a number or a letter. And these characters provide additional details about the diagnosis, such as the etiology, the atomic site, the severity, or the laterality. A decimal point is placed after the third character to separate the category from the specific details. An additional seventh character may be required for certain codes, including S for injuries and external causes, to provide information about characteristics of the encounter. A would be placed in the seventh character to represent an initial encounter. D would represent a subsequent encounter, and S indicates a sequela. And now I will turn it over to Luna to explain the remainder of our presentation.
Okay, the ICD-10 works alongside the ICD-10-PCS by explaining the diagnosis and why the procedures was needed. With the CPT, the ICD-10 explains the diagnosis and why the services are needed. With the HCPCS, it justifies why the supplies and services were needed. And with the Snowden CT, the concepts are mapped to the ICD-10-CM codes. With real-world examples, in a scenario where a patient has poorly controlled diabetes, the ICD-10-CM code would be E11.65, which would be the type 2 diabetes with high glycemia. In a scenario where a patient falls and fractures their right forearm during a sports activity, the code would be S52501A, which would be an unspecified fracture of the lower end of the right radius initial encounter. In a workflow diagram, the patient would first visit the clinic, and the provider would document their visits in the EHR system. Then the coder would assign the ICD-10-CM and PCS codes, as well as the Snowden codes, any codes that is needed from their visits. Then the claim would be submitted for reimbursements. The data will finally be used for public health reporting, quality research measurements, and any research properties. That is the end of our lovely presentation.